Maya English Primary School Class 6 and the subject is history and the chapter is 10 chapter and the name of the chapter is Ancient India Cultural. Now here we will talk about the ancient Indian culture. So first we will talk about the language and the literature. So in the ancient India there are many literary tradition. This literature which was produced in the Sanskrit, Ardha Magadhi, Pali and the Tamil languages also, which is included in the religious literature, treatises on grammar, epics, plays, stories, etc. So these are the different types of literature which we can see in the ancient India. So first one is the Sangam literature. Sangam means the gathering of the learned men, means the person, those who have learned, the gathering, that is known as Sangam. This literature compiled in such gathering which is known as the Sangam literature. It is mostly in the ancient literature, it is in the Tamil, that is the Sila Padikaram and the Mani Mekalya are the two well-known epics. From Sangam literature, we will learn about the political also, social life also in the South India during that period, because in the South Indian the Tamil languages was there. So next we will see about the religious literature. Now here the different types of literature is the which is based on the religious. The important text was the included Agam, Granth, Tipitaka and Bhagavad Gita. So and in the Prakrit language of the Ardha Magadhi, which is the Jain Agam Granthas, which are written in the Prakrit language of Ardha Magadhi, and the Shorseni and the Maharashtri also. These was the languages of that things. The Agam Granths was a collection of the teachings of the Vardhaman Mahavir, which we have studied in the previous chapter also. So literally the works like the Mahapuranas, biographies, stories, etc., everything which was available in the Upper Brahmsha languages. Upper Brahmsha languages. It is also one of the languages which we can see here. Siddhasan Divakar wrote Samaista Sutta, a work in Prakrit languages. That is the jurisprudence. Vimal Suri has told the story of the Rama in the Paumcharya, which is the poetic work in the Prakrit languages. And the other well-known work was also that which was the Haribhadra Suris, Samaraj Chakak and the Udyont Suris and Kuvalya Malakaha. These are the well-known works which we can see in the religious literature. And Tipitaka has the three Pitakas, that means a part. The word in the Sanskrit, it has been Pitakas, which is the English word parts. The word Pitaka means a basket or the collection also we can say. It means a section. This Tipitaka is written in the Pali language, which is consists of the three categories of the text. That means the Sutta Pitaka. The Sutta Pitaka includes the text of the Gautam Buddha's teachings, and they are also known as the Suktas. And the next one was the Vinay Pitaka. The word Vinay means here the rules. The Vinay Pitaka also gives the rules of the behavior, which is the bhikkhus and the bhikkhunis in the Bauddha Sangha. This Bauddha Sangha which we have studied in the previous, about the bhikkhus also I have told you about the Bauddha Sangha, which should follow in their day-to-day lives. And the third Pitaka was the Abhidhamma Pitakas. In this the Buddhist has been explained. A text title here was the Arthakatha, the Atakatha, which explains the Tipitakas is very well known in this explain. Then afterwards women also composed the Gathas, that is the narrative about their own experience. They used to say many stories about their own experience, which was in the Pali languages. That means it was compiled in the Therigatha. They are in the Pali language. The Bhagavad Gita, which is a very scared text of the Hindus, is also a part of the Mahabharata. The Bhagavad Gita tells us about each one of us should do our duty without expecting the rewards. Means we should not expect any rewards, whatever we are doing, any good things or any things which we are doing. It also says the about the path of the devotions to God is open to all. So this was the text of the Bhagavad Gita. Now next we will talk about the Adi Shankaracharya. You can see the picture of the Adi Shankaracharya, which was lived during the 8th century CE, and he emphasized the knowledge and the renunciation also. He wrote many commentaries which was explained in the Upanishads, Brahma Sutras and the Bhagavad Gita. And he established the four moods. Four moods means it was a direction of the India. That means the Badrinath, Dwarka, Jagannath Puri and the Sringeri. This was the four direction which was established by the Adi Shankaracharya. And Kautilya, it is a very famous, which was written by the Arthashastra, in which he discussed about the lengthy and the excellent administrative systems. About these things it has been written in that book. So next was the treatises on grammar. That means Ashtadhyayi, which is written by the grammarian Panini, which is considered as a standard work on the Sanskrit grammar. Means here it was written everything about the grammar which was a Sanskrit grammar. So Patanjali, which was wrote Mahabhashya, it explains the many principles which was given in the Panini's Ashtadhyayi. So this was the treatises of the grammar, Sanskrit grammar. So next one is the Arsha and the classical epics. Here the epics was about related to the classical. The main two Arsha epics of the ancient India, that means in the ancient India the two main epics was that is a very famous and everyone well known, that is the Ramayana and the Mahabharata. This was the two Arsha epics of the ancient India. Arsha means here it has been composed of the sages or the rishis, which means made by the rishis. The Ramayana was composed by the Rishi Valmiki. This Ramayana has been written and composed by the Rishi Valmiki, and the main character of the Ramayana is the Sri Ram. And the Mahabharata has been composed by the sage Vyas. Its main theme, the Mahabharata's main theme is the war between the battle was going on between the Kauravas and Pandavas. It also tells about the Lord Krishna's life also in the Mahabharata. The Mahabharata also provides a picture of the various human sentiments and the emotion and many other consequences also we can see in this epics. So sometimes there is such a period in the history of the languages, literature and art that is very glory remains, which is diminished even later on also. That means in such a period we can see the many history about the languages, literatures, art, everything. The art and the literature and many other things is there which is produced in such a period, that is known as the classical. So this Raghuvansha and Kumar Sambhava, that was written by Kalidasa, and Kirtan Junia by Bharavi and Shishu Palwat by Magha are the very well-known composition of the ancient period which was written in the classical Sanskrit. So we will end this part 1 chapter. Thank you very much.